remember how you started working for Big Finish and what you thought about those early days?
Well, it's kind of weird, because what happened was when they put my Doctor Who into a hiatus and then forgot to bring it back, the fans, the Doctor Who fans, came to Sophie and I, said, "Listen, can we make a tape recording? Do a story. We've written a story with you in it. Can you come and work with us?" And so we did, and we recorded it in people's basements. And I remember at one point we recorded one in a toilet because the sound was good. And so we were doing it before Big Finish came along, and we carried on doing it. And then, of course, Gary Russell and Jason Early, they were fans, like the fans that were at, but they made it professional. And so it kind of grew out of, in a semi-amateur way, that we were doing it with the fans, and they were more professional people, because Gary had been a performer and acting and all that kind of stuff, and they just made it more kind of smooth, professional, really. So it was the fans that kept it going, but we didn't really stop. So I never stopped. We were making it. And also Bill Baggs, a guy called Bill Baggs, he was making video films of Doctor Who as well. So it carried on. I've never really had a break. I've never really been in hiatus. It's just carried on, really, one way or the other, which is brilliant. So the reason why it's here today is because of you guys and your predecessors, the fans of Doctor Who. They're the heroes.
That reminds me, you mentioned Bill Baggs, and the Airzone Solution was one story. I don't know if you recall that one, but it was almost like a multi-Doctor story, but not Doctor Who. You were all there, including Jon Pertwee. So
I know.
What was that like, being on set with Jon? Because, he passed away only a couple of years after that. But what was that experience like for you?
It was great. And Jon and I got on like a house on fire, because I got to know him quite a lot, because we would go to conventions in America and we fly out together and fly back and hang out. And he was, really great fun. I kind of took the place of Patrick Troughton, because Patrick Troughton, way back, didn't want to do conventions. We didn't really know what they were in those days. They were something that came, it was an American thing, and a bit scary. He found it a bit scary. But then Jon talked him into it, and so they used to do a double act. And one of that double acts was they'd get water pistols and come on. When one was doing a Q&A, the other would come on and squirt them with water pistols. Very grown up, very Doctor Who. And I replaced Patrick Troughton in that double act with Jon. We became really firm friends, really, which was great, because I was a huge fan of his. Even before he did Doctor Who, it was like, there was a thing called the Navy Lark, which ran for years on the radio before television came along, and I used to love listening to that and love Jon Pertwee. So it was great. Love working with him. We filmed that in a lunatic asylum.
Wow. Empty one, I assume.
Well, no, they were emptying it, but there was a very secure unit in the middle of it. And that's where the most secure people have had to be kept really secure, were there. It was all a bit scary in a way. Kept things, they wouldn't break out. Although maybe they just thought we were just part of the scene.
Men are only different.
Yeah.
So originally when you started with Big Finish, you worked with Sophie, and of course you and Sophie have had such a long and excellent history together. And then you were soon joined by Philip Olivier in terms of the character of Hex.
Yeah.
How did you feel it went in terms of adding that extra dimension to a new character and Hex to the mix?
Well, it was great, really, because it gave a kind of a fresh relationship that that Sophie could play Hex off, and I became. I mean, I always felt that I was kind of a father figure anyway to Sophie, but this way it was like seeing two children, my two children, kind of in a sense, kind of getting to know each other, and the fun and interest in watching them become great friends. It was nice. It was really nice. And he's a wonderful actor. He was great. He's Liverpudlian. I mean, God, what a joy to work with Liverpudlians. They're some of the funniest people in the world.